Hello, I'm Andrew Brons. I'm the British National Party MEP for Yorkshire and the Humber. The reason for this filming today is to announce that I am standing in this year's opportunity of the leadership elections. That is for the position of chairman of our party. I haven't entered this contest lightly. It's certainly not motivated by ideological difference, and it's even less motivated by any personal difference or personal animosity. I get on very well with our current chairman, so I have no intention of engaging in any demonisation. However, I do believe that there are some serious flaws in the way that the party is run at the moment, particularly internally. In two particular areas. One is to do with the, if you like, the general management, including financial management of the party. The other area is dealing with disagreement and dissent. I feel that those two areas need to be addressed particularly. More specifically, the particular things that I hope to do if I were to be successful. One, I intend to bring about constitutional reform to try to make sure that the party is handed back to the control of its membership and not being controlled entirely by the person who happens to be at the top, that is the chairman. So in other words, my first job as chairman would be to reduce the power of the chairman. I also want to try to extend the responsibility for running the party to a more collegiate, to a more group control. In other words, an elected body that would be able to control the particular administrative affairs of the party, but more important than that, be responsible to the membership for doing that. Something that's related to this is something that might sound a little bit ethereal, and that's to change the political culture of the party. I want to try to get away from the idea that still exists in some quarters that any kind of disagreement is really a form of dissent and possibly even rebellion. I want to try to make sure that the leadership treats members who have differences of opinion with respect, but equally I want to make sure that the membership treat each other and the leadership with respect. If we can change this political culture, then in fact we can manage to complement the work that we carry out by changing the constitution. Now, I mentioned earlier financial regulation. I'm not going to labour this point, but as Macmillan might have said, there have been little financial difficulties within the party. I want to overcome those, clear up the remaining ones, but in particular to ensure that there's financial transparency in the future, so that the elected representatives of the party will be able to share with the chairman and with the treasurer control and full view of those financial arrangements. Only then can we make sure that these difficulties that I referred to earlier will not recur. Now, earlier I mentioned the change of political culture that's necessary, and in particular I said that we should get away from the idea of regarding disagreement as dissent or rebellion. In particular, I want to make sure that the party's disciplinary procedures are never used for factional purposes. Furthermore, that the security of the party, something that's vitally necessary for a party like ours, remember it is targeted by violent extremists of the left who wage physical attacks on our members and our meetings. This security is vital, but it must be used to protect the party from external attack. It must never stray into looking after the interests of particular officials, particularly in internal party elections. But if you were to ask me for a single aim of standing in this election, I regard myself, if this isn't too pretentious, as the unity candidate. This party has suffered from serious unity problems over the last year. I want to bring activists who've dropped into inactivity back to full activity. I want to bring activists who've left the party back into the party, and I want to bring ordinary members who've simply not renewed their subscription, or in some cases have decided not to renew their subscription, back into the party. As far as all of these people are concerned, but particularly the activists, they must be told, they must be convinced that this party really needs them. People might have noticed that I haven't concentrated on, if you like, the external activities of the party. There is a reason for that, and that is that I'm not primarily critical of that area. There are particular criticisms that might be made, but that would be true whoever was in charge. But the external activities of the party, and particularly the level of success of the party, both of those have suffered as the result of the hemorrhage of activists that we've seen. And I believe that if we can win back those vital activists, those people who selflessly would go out onto the streets delivering leaflets, taking part in meetings, collecting money for the party, standing as candidates, if we can win those people back, then we can get back to the success that we enjoyed a couple of years ago. This isn't just something that affects the party, so I'm not in a selfish way just saying the British National Party needs to survive. It's because if the British National Party doesn't survive, then the British nation will not survive. We really are near the end of the road for the continued existence of the British nation. The British National Party must survive for our nation to survive. It's really as simple as that.
I'm Richard Edmonds, a founder member of the party. I welcome most warmly Andrew's decision to stand as a candidate in this year's leadership elections. Andrew brings with him many years of experience and selfless devotion to our cause. Andrew has the status of a member of the European Union. He brings with him integrity, decency and a sense of humour, always important in trying times. As for my part, I'd like to thank all those who have supported and aided and encouraged me when I was a candidate. I now very happily hand over to Andrew. We all wish him well, we wish him well, and we hope that his endeavours will be crowned with success. Andrew, best of luck to you. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.